This is Greg Tingle reporting for Media Man International and Media Man Australia. We're in the field. We're actually in a line-up for an audition instead of at a pub. PJ Gallagher having a beer, but that's okay. Such is the life of the arts and entertainment industry players. Taras, welcome. You've got us here. You're auditioning for something. It's a mystery. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, Greg.
Some of our audience will be familiar with you and some of them won't be. As like bread and butter or a staple, if you like, you're known for the harp, the music.
Yeah, pretty much just mainly known for music, yes.
But that's a very unique instrument to be known for, which can be a very good thing, I think, in the entertainment industry, which is full of a lot of static at times.
Absolutely, yes.
How did you get into the harp, and what's going on with the harp industry?
So I got into the harp at about the age of 20. I was going through a bit of a tough time and I wanted something to occupy my time, to distract me from everything going on. I didn't originally want to be a harpist. I actually wanted to play the synthesizer. However, at the time I just quit my job and I didn't really have the funds to buy a synth. But my mum used to play the harp, so it was just available. We already had two in our house, so I settled on the harp just based off availability, but I'm glad I did, as it allowed me to differentiate myself in the music industry, and I was able to make a living from it very early on.
Yeah, that's tremendous, being able to make a living in the art and entertainment industry, because there's plenty of people which doesn't always go that way. So you're living the dream to a large degree, or to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, right? Like, part of the reason why I'm able to make a living from music is I'm willing to make certain compromises. You know, like a lot of musicians won't compromise, so they have to work day jobs, and then other musicians will compromise too much, and then music becomes just like any other job, and they end up hating it.
Oh, you mean
playing
like
covers, gigs,
okay,
pubs, and whatever.
like selling out, or hating what they used to love, doing it just for a check, where they could be doing that pushing a pen in an office or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Okay.
I've got a business degree and a high school teaching degree. I
Yeah.
don't need to do music for my living. I do it because I enjoy it.
Yep.
If I stop enjoying it, I'll just work a job.
All right, great. Now, a bit of recent news for those who don't know. A few things put us on your radar. You and I actually first caught up in person at a wrestling show where well-respected wrestlers and MMA artists, Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn, went against each other in a historic pro wrestling match in Australia. But that's where we caught up initially, and then a number of weeks later I actually found out about a good deed. I know you're a very humble man, Taras, but you helped somebody out in a bit of an hour of need, and that really that put you on our radar even further. Can you just tell us a little bit about that situation when you helped someone out that was going through a rough day or something?
Okay, so what happened is, like, I still busk. Like, I don't need to busk, but I do it because it makes me a bit of, like, money and it's a bit of fun. Like, I'm not financially reliant on it. I just enjoy it. It's freedom, it's practice, and making a few bucks on the side. And I was busking in the city, and then some girl came up to me and she gave me a white rose. She said, "I want you to have this." And then we started talking for a bit, and she told me about how she was homeless and how she'd left home from her abusive partner. So yeah, she told me about how she was a musician.
We're moving in the queue. Field conditions here at Entertainment with Fox in the foreground.
So anyway, she told me about how she had a really nice guitar worth thousands of dollars, but she had to leave it behind when she left home to escape domestic abuse. And I asked her, would she like another guitar? And she said, "Oh, I wish I could have a guitar, I just can't afford one." I said, like, I've got a pretty large social network. If I make a post saying, asking for a guitar, I guarantee I'll get a good one.
Wow.
So I made a Facebook post just saying about how this homeless girl gave me a white rose and how she was a musician.
Yep.
Then I decided, then like multiple people offered their guitars, I chose out the best one, and then I dropped it off to her the next week. So it only happened over about the space of a week. We met, I sourced a guitar within 24 hours and then dropped it off to her the next time I was in the city.
Oh, mate, that's just tremendous. She must have felt like a higher power or a godsend or a miracle or a combination of those things. Like, it's pretty but it's the simple things, like it might be a small or a moderate thing for you, but for her it potentially could be life-changing and give somebody some hope when they may have been getting close to out of hope or something. That's the impression. That's what I thought myself.
Yeah, look, I think it did help her out. She said, "Look, now I can busk instead of beg."
Yep.
So that means that she can actually earn an income instead of just asking people for money. And look, I think that's a good thing. But
Yeah, no, it's an awesome thing.
she showed me a level of kindness. Like she
Yep.
wanted to give me a whole bunch of roses, and I said, no, you hang on to those roses, and you sell them to sleazy guys trying to impress girls. And that's what she did. So she made a bit of money selling the roses. which is great. But she wanted to give them all to me, and she thought they'd look nice with my harp. So
Look, great. I had to ask about that because that is an extremely newsy thing of substance, which I just had to cover because otherwise we'd be walking away from this going, we should have mentioned it. So we're on that now. Now we get to something else. Now, the pro wrestling connection. We met at the pro wrestling matches.
Like, I used to be a pro wrestler before I got into music.
Yep.
I think my career highlight would I think my career highlight would be having a tag match with former WWE superstar Raven.
Oh, he's a legend. He's tops.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but he's alright.
Well, he's an iconic fit. For people that follow it closely, they've been following a couple of decades. Raven's been in some very edgy, groundbreaking, of course, going back to the ECW days under Paul Heyman. Finally, Paul Heyman's been mentioned in one of our video interviews. So,
Cool.
Raven and Heyman had a thing, obviously, as part of the key foundation, ECW. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think I tagged with him when I was about 18 years old.
Wow.
Look, it wasn't in front of a big crowd, it wasn't for a good promotion or anything, but it's cool to be able to say I worked with someone who I grew up watching on TV. And this was back when Impact Wrestling was on Fox 8.
Yeah.
And it was airing every Saturday night. And I watched Raven on Fox 8 on Saturday night, and I had a tag match with him on the Friday. So it was quite a surreal thing watching him on TV on the same episode that had someone like Hulk Hogan on it. As the week before that's when like Hulk Hogan and Flair and all that went into Impact Wrestling. And then the week later, I'm in the ring with him, and I'm like on the ring apron, and he tagged me in. And,
yeah, very, very cool.
And then he sets up the other guy with a snap mirror, and I do like a frog splash. It was cool looking back at it. Like, I don't think I enjoyed it that much at the time. Like, I don't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in it.
But it's in your body of work. It's something that you did as part of the journey. I hate that word, but everyone's...
I did that a while ago. Like,
cool.
I don't watch it. I don't follow it. I
All right.
don't care about it.
Yep.
But, like,
All right.
I used to when I was a kid, and it was cool to be able to say that I worked for someone that I looked up to as a kid.
All right.
And,
Great. Now, on the larger entertainment industry spectrum, but also with a tie-in with wrestling, we're pretty big fans of Chris Jericho of the rock band Fozzy. I was looking him up again earlier with the connection, all the stories in Rolling Stone, and I'm very excited about the upcoming rebound of Rolling Stone Australia. I was super pumped about it. It feels like every second musician in Sydney's calling me at the moment because everyone wants to make the cover of the Rolling Stone, or even just get a few lines in Rolling Stone, let alone the cover, like Dr. Who used to say, or saying, and of course Rolling Stones. So, what is that? You've got a bit of a funny, quirky sort of story with Chris Jericho. We're big fans of Chris Jericho, and we actually saw him do his talk thing with Ian Scott from Anthrax years ago, but our artwork was so bad, and so Chris didn't comment, thank God, because he would have destroyed the art.
Yeah, you
but
were telling me.
Our art for Dwayne Johnson was great, but we didn't put the same amount of effort or time into Chris, so he's forgiven us. We do a little bit of commentary for Webby's Jericho. What's your Jericho Fozzy story?
Okay, so I was out in Sydney, I was partying, well, if you can call it partying, I don't even drink. I was hanging out with friends at a venue called Frankie's Pizza. That's like a rock venue and pub and pizza joint all rolled into one. It's good fun.
Yep.
I was hanging out with my friend Ross, and my friend Ross just happened to know one of his tour managers, as their fathers were in a band together. Now, due to hanging out with Ross, I sort of got pulled into that sort of crowd, which most people weren't really allowed into, just because,
Default, you sort of morphed into it. You're around, and all of a sudden it's come over here, or something like that. Or this is Darris. Yeah.
So then I was by total chance. I was hanging out with Chris Jericho, and he bought me a slice of pizza, bought me an apple juice, and just an all-round nice, friendly guy. Out having a good time. Like I obviously don't know him well. I only met him once, but he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
The one funny story I have from him is the Final Countdown came on, and he's pretending to play it on the keyboards, going. And then yeah,
Like air keyboard, like
air keyboard, air keyboard. That's exactly.
but he's one of the hottest bloody frontmen in the world, and he's doing air keyboard, so that's funny itself. Yeah.
So then I told him that I can actually play that on the harp.
Yeah.
And he's like, this harp or this harp?
Yeah.
Like meaning the harmonica or the actual harp. And then I showed him
Yeah.
the harp that I was making. He's like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So then the next time when that main sort of riff came on, he starts like air harping it, going like pretending to play it on the harp. And
Yeah.
that made me feel good inside.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
sweet. Great stuff. So, what's going on for your current projects? What's on the radar right at the moment?
Some stuff I can't really talk about due to like non-disclosure agreements.
Yep.
But right now I want to finish off the harp that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
I've put about 2.5 years into that. It's titled the Griffin Harp. It's the... I don't think it's really worth talking about the specifications as it doesn't really make sense unless you are a harpist, but it will be the first and only one of its kind in the world. It's got about 3.5 grand of electronics going into it. I've sourced parts from all around the world, from Italy, France, America. I've had work done on it here in Australia. I've made about 90% of it myself, but
Yep.
yeah, that's my main focus. That's the only goal for 2019 was to finish off that harp.
All right, great.
As well as maintain my sobriety.
Great, and okay, fantastic. And I've been meaning to ask this question to a musician for a while because I've asked it of athletes, and this one can actually help inspire entertainers from all spectrums. What's the, if you can tell us, the smallest audience and the biggest audience you've ever performed to? Because a lot of people have done next to a donut to 50,000, even some have done 100,000, and then they've also done zero when they've started. So what can you tell us about that sort of thing? It doesn't necessarily reflect on one's skill. Sometimes it's a low number, sometimes it's a high number.
So, do you want for wrestling?
Yeah, like
music?
anything.
So with music, the smallest crowd I've ever performed to was 2 people. The largest crowd I've ever performed to was a packed house of 2,000.
I love it. Yep.
Like, ultimately, I'm not that fast, right? As long as people enjoy it. Generally with gigs, I tend to get paid the same regardless of whether there's 2 people there or 1,000 people there. I just charge my rates, and then it's up to the event organisers to sell tickets and whatever else. It's not my responsibility unless I'm organising the event. So if I organise the event, then it matters to me, and there most definitely won't just be 2 people there.
All right, great. And
with wrestling,
Yep.
biggest crowd was 700, and smallest crowd was about 12.
Yep, almost par for the course in the wild world of wrestling. And what would you say your motto is, or what keeps you going in this amazing industry that the entertainment and arts industry is? I mean, not all days can be absolutely fantastic, or what's the main thing that keeps you going over the years?
Just the love of it, ultimately. It's like if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. Like, I've got 2 university degrees. I can work other jobs. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. And it is also rewarding being able to make connections with people on an emotional level, especially with music, and entertain people. And yeah, it's a rewarding job.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, we feel we're rewarded to have met you as well. You're going to be heading in there shortly. Oh, they've just spotted it.
Don't use that.
No, okay. Back to here. No.
Like that'll get me in trouble.
No, back up time. Thanks for the warning. We've covered a lot of stuff. This is going to be very interesting for a lot of our vast audience. So, Taras, thank you very much for today.
No worries.
I know you're going to smash it in there, and until next time.
Okay.